All right, welcome. This is a supplementary added reading of something that basically just kind of came channeled out of me. Not so much a poem, just a thing. So it's a different content, I guess, to the like sanctuary space thing, but welcome to a supplementary added thing of um reading, I guess, of Our Divine Threads, a sanctuary of nurturing the journey of metaconsciousness and spiritual awakening, one serendipitous card at a time. However, this is not going to be with cards. This is going to be with words that were channeled through when I got the train back from a visit to Jim Morrison's grave, and Love Me Two Times was never my favorite song. I like it's a fun song, but like there are other songs that I absolutely love the harmonies in or the piano in or whatever it is. Rayman's Eric, R.I.P. Um, so yeah, I had on Morrison Hotel because it's my favorite album, right? As far as those were. Put my earphones in, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna listen to this now that I'm like leaving the gravesite. And um what stood out to me was this sentence where he said, Jim, this is the strangest life I've ever known. And I thought it interesting because I felt it more so from the perspective of perhaps in other forms of existence, we remember past lives. We remember and are already aware of the fact that we're a conscious being that is the universe expressed through light, through existence of whatever form it is we're currently taking in that life. But when you are in the form of a human, a part of the challenge, the point of it is kind of to be doing it with completely fresh eyes. Um, Therefore, to, in a sense, most bravely give up knowing. Like, you gotta start from scratch. But the growth, the ascension, the expansion, I like that word better, that brings to the universe in its quest to just fucking be anything and everything it can ever fathom, like anything it can ever fathom, literally. Um, this is one of the paths, and so I congratulate you and think I don't even think people mostly understand when I say like thank you for being here. It is very like I I don't know life other than this specific existence in a way that I can tangibly or like sorry, definitively explain to you. I know this life as Megan, I know this existence as a human, and maybe it's strange because of the fact that it's like something we don't know about beforehand. Because the sentence is always developed with my understanding of it. Isn't that beautiful too, where words that we hear can develop in the way that we actually like hear or understand them based on our perspective at that time, for lack of a better word, but also I think our level of spiritual awakening or relationship with that is what mostly adapts that kind of specific relationship to like a sentence of that nature. So I'm listening to Strange Days, then I decided to like listen to that album because I realized when I heard the sentence that my mom and my brother at one point got me a vinyl of Strange Days, the album, which is never an album that I had necessarily connected to, and was like, okay, cool. And you know, I didn't know why until literally that day where I'm like, oh fuck, I have not allowed myself to connect with like other albums because I love a lot of the songs on Morrison Hotel. I feel very grounded by that album. So I go to it a lot. And Keep Your Eyes on the Road, Your Hands Upon the Wheel is like again another sentence that is written and then continues to develop its understanding, but it's the first line on Morrison Hotel. Um and it just feels like as we move around like the wheel tarot card of life, the wheel spins, shit changes, we continue to adapt, like it's just very themed to the way that I exist or experience existence. And all of a sudden I heard that and I'm like, oh my god, it's as if like life tries in a sense and succeeds because that's the point of it, 444, to throw you from having your hands on the wheel, from having any control over the stuff that you will go through, so then you can regain, you know, composure, control, grounding, like the point is to be thrown from the place where you think you know everything, and especially if you walk around thinking that you know everything, you'll most likely have the most challenges about whether it is you do or don't, because life's a little bit like, and you think you know, fuck you. Like, here's a test. Anyway. We don't all experience existence the same, but that is definitely mine. So then I ended up writing this because here's me listening to Strange Days, and what song comes on but Love Me Two Times? And I was like, oh, this song is on this album. And this is the album that I got called to listen to after I put on an album, after I put on that specific album because I had just left his grave. It was like, just, okay, this is why Love Me Two Times has been in my head ever since I decided to go to this grave, which did not make sense to me, except for that, like, I mean, there was a lot of mirrored imagery within that, mirrored even being a joke word at that moment because of the Gemini full moon that we're going through with this, like, duality thing and stuff that I'm moving through with, like, letting go of someone that I feel connected to, but also I'm physically not in the same space as, and the two times thing, I'm like, oh, someone, what's happening? Anyway, and so this is what ended up being written, and I just, the end of it, the irony is, like, peak universe being like, oh, you think, like, just, oh god, what is it, there's someone on Instagram, Jordan Calloway, and I don't remember who had the quote written, but I love the Instagram, like, headliner or whatever it is, like, right under his picture says, beware of being, presenting as a profound person, or whatever, which I just love because it's that reminder of, like, what I take from it is, like, when you act like you know everything, you'll most likely have challenges that massively humble you, because we're not here to know everything. We're here to experience. And a lot of times that actually has more to do with surrendering. So in a sense, the beautiful part of being, okay, I'm going to read the thing because it's all in there. Okay. There's the knowing of two kinds. The ego, of course, and then that of the soul. Here, soul refers to the intangible energy that is the you beyond all human definitions. It takes many years and being wrong and being right to edge us to know which is which knowing. One feels safe, like a door we can grab onto in the seas of existence. That's where I said that. There are the moments in which we feel comforted from afar, and then upon grabbing onto it, it becomes a knowing from our soul communication into a knowing that we need through the ego. Grip tightened by the fear of not knowing. I suppose there's a third kind of knowing to mention. It's annoyingly Socratic to most in that it is to surrender. Accept you can't and don't know, because change is the only constant, the only thing we can really count on the continued presence of. The only thing that can be grasped to. Yet, there's no handles, no tangible holding place, and yet, when you let it, it can take a hold of you instead. The second knowing, being that of the soul, are knowings within moments. And the third kind is important to this second kind, because it allows us not only to know, but also to detach from having to be sure. We can allow momentary entertainment or peace, and then release it as quickly as it came to be with we came to be with that information or that feeling. The first kind is not to be known of in judgment. This would be the ego one. Not only because the individual who feels lifted within said judgment of others and their path is in that action, living at the same level as those that they judge. For the second knowing and the third, live in a place within the acceptance rather than control. Therefore, there is no need to judge another's path or journey of knowings. But it, the first knowing, is important to the human form. It is a way of knowing oneself, a place to begin, and that is the only place to start, the beginning. In fact, remaining as fresh-eyed and loving and accepting as the being or the beginning of one's human existence is a most high knowing, because one, though experienced, can still hold a place for knowing that there is so much more to know still. And that in the place of not filling the gaps, we can allow ourselves to see the truths yet to be known clearly and easily. Yet, to grow and fill in the gaps, to seek for knowing as a finite experience, is to miss out. It is to live in superficially sought over craving, it is to live in superficially sought, ever craving hierarchy. Now, in being born into a queer and female body in this lifetime, there are certain knowings that I hold, that comfort me in safety because of the misuse of human life we experience through living in any form of a marginalized body. And then it doesn't end, because what happens then is I look up and I realize I'm at the very last stop of the subway and everyone is off the fucking train and the doors are about to close, and I have to go because I can't. So I wrote, I did just miss my subway stop. By like 4 stops I missed my subway stop, by the way, in writing this. And now I'm laughing at what irony of what I thought I knew better of, and playfully experience reminds me of its ability to bring change or surprise even in a seemingly straightforward transaction. Lol. Anyway, hope you enjoy this like random extra installment of what I would before fault myself as being self-indulgent, but people don't have to stay if they don't want to, and I really appreciate that, mostly if someone or any person other than me, because I'm definitely getting something from it, gets something from it, or even just feels emboldened to also share their creations, because like life's so short.